Very good. Do you feel structured? When you're structured, many times it makes you feel good. You have an idea of what's going on. It's planned out. You know who your characters are, what the story's about, what's going to happen, what the character wants. I mean, doesn't it feel good to be organized? That's the way it should be. And you can, I write all the time. I do a lot of writing for my business. So it's like writing stories about paper towels, okay? So, but it's the same thing. Writing is very important. It's all about selling an idea, beginning, middle, and end. But now let's go further into the beginning, middle, and end. And I'll be brief here. We have an idea of what's going to go on in the beginning, the middle, and the end of our stories. But what I'm going to ask you to do now is to write a 4-sentence story summary for the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And this will give us more structure, more focus. And what we're doing is it's like making some really good soup. You got your shrimp in there, your tuna, you got your Cajun mustard, throw in a little green pepper, some tomato, maybe some frog's feet. You know, if you want to get exotic about everything, you got this in there, that in there. Okay, so now we get real structured. Because I can't stop thinking about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or the Raiders of the Lost Ark, because there's so much going on, but it's all related to the theme and the storyline, and stuff is always getting in his way as we constantly, fast-moving, adventurously get towards the end of the story. So now it's time to add more structural spice to the beginning with more detail. 4 sentences that we will write around. And of course, in the beginning, we want to say, well, Dorothy doesn't like where she's living. She gets sucked up by a hurricane, takes her into this weird place. Oh, now she doesn't know what's going on. And then she meets this lady and says, oh, I can show you how to get home. Just walk that way. Next thing, people start singing, and the whole movie goes to color from black and white. Okay? That's the beginning. You want to wrap that up in 4 sentences, okay? So, and then you may expand it. There's nothing wrong with writing a little more. I don't see writing a little less, but our goal here is to come up with 4 sentences for the beginning, middle, and end. And of course, at the end of each segment, at the end of the beginning, at the end of the middle, and near the end of the end, we want something major to get in the way of what our character wants. Now, if you're doing the end, of course, at the very end, close to the end, something really bad happens. Nothing like bad stuff to mess with people reading the movie. Watching the movie, reading the book, whatever. But at the very end, we want something terrible to happen right before the movie, book, ends, and then everything's resolved, everybody's happy. And on the other hand, you may get to the end of your story and maybe things aren't happy. Maybe that's your message. You know, if these things don't happen, then it's just going to be bad. Just let everybody walk away feeling bad when they get done with their story. It's up to you. So there you go. We want 4 sentences for the beginning, middle, and end. And now, think of all the brainstorming we've done. And hopefully you've misspelled words, your grammar's been bad, because, 2,000 years ago, they didn't even write anything. It was all words. The most brilliant people didn't know how to read and write. They just told stories. So reading and writing, the skills of grammar and spelling are important, but do not let that restrict your imagination or brainstorming process. Through this whole process, if you spell things wrong, your grammar's not quite correct, that is not important. What you want to do is brainstorm, work on all these wonderful ideas, and then write them correctly and get your grammar together so that you can present them to members of the world, and they can fully appreciate all of your ideas in the public realm. We'll be back in our next episode with actually writing the story. All this stuff, all this thinking, all this brainstorming, now, some people think you just sit down and write the story. Hey, sure, fine, yeah. I've heard people do it. But, if you do it this way, you're all planned, you've got your structure. Now it's time to actually sit down and write the story word by word. I'm Bill the Geek, broadcasting not live from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Very wonderful, peaceful place.
Thank you.